What is up, guys? What another crazy effing weekend it has been. Holy shit. Well, compared to last weekend, my spirits are high. Everything's good. Epstein killed himself, as you all know. This is going to be all about Epstein, guys. Not a surprise. And we're going to be covering a lot today. I just want to give a quick shout out to all my followers out there, to all my fans as this channel starts to grow. I was at 178 subs as of Friday, and now I'm at 240. My last video got it got about 1,600 views. It's almost at 1,700 views now, guys. It's so far my most popular video. It's all about the Epstein documents that dropped as of Friday. There is a guy on YouTube that shared my stuff on a bunch of big pages, so I've got to get his name. He's the one I'm crediting this to. I know he caught my videos and he shared it everywhere, and I got over 60 subscribers in just 2 days. So, guys, this channel is blowing up. I really appreciate it. It's only going to get better, and I just want to give you back my gratitude, my love. I'm very humbled, and I'm very happy that you guys are enjoying the content. So let's get right into the stories. So, of course, I woke up yesterday morning, probably around like 8:30, and I get the message: Epstein killed himself in a jail, in a federal prison, not a jail, federal prison, and he supposedly hung himself while he was on suicide watch. Immediately, red flags. I'm like, I almost laughed. One, that I couldn't believe he actually died, and two, they were saying he hung himself, right? So as soon as I pulled up my phone, this was the first story I saw come up here. And the story reads, convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein died overnight in apparent suicide, federal officials said Saturday. Epstein, 66, was found unresponsive in his cell in the special housing unit of Manhattan Correctional Center in Lower Manhattan at around 6:30 a.m. Jail staff tried to revive him and then called for an ambulance. Paramedics also tried to revive Epstein and could be seen to be using a breathing bag as they wheeled him on a gurney into the New York downtown hospital around 7:30 a.m. He was declared dead a short time later. The city medical examiner's office took Epstein's body from the hospital to the city morgue at Bellevue Medical Center Saturday afternoon to determine the cause of death. Now remember, guys, 2 weeks ago, Epstein, 66, was found nearly unconscious in his cell with injuries to his neck. He was reportedly placed on suicide watch. Jail spokesman Lee Plord said Epstein was not currently on suicide watch. Well, why the fuck not? The Associated Press reported he was taken off suicide watch, though it wasn't immediately clear when. Super sketchy. What is that? The multi-millionaire financier was being held without bail pending trial on child sex trafficking charges. The FBI and the Department of Justice Inspector General are both looking into his death. Epstein was busted July 6 over his allegedly sexual abuse. Again, guys, you know this from 2002, 2005. He was pleading not guilty and faced up to 45 years in prison. Now, my video just was, as I was talking about Friday, these are the documents that we went over. Thousands of documents unsealed Friday in connection with a defamation case against the perv's alleged recruiter revealed dozens of high-profile names that a self-identified victim, Virginia Guafre, said she was forced to perform sex acts with the former Maine Senator George Mitchell and ex-New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, who endorsed Bill Richardson, and great friends. Bill Clinton, money manager Glenn Dubin, and MIT professor Marvin Minsky. The names are dropping, guys. Love it. Epstein's death unleashed a torrent of criticism. Attorney General William Barr, who was reportedly livid about the news, Mr. Epstein's death raises serious questions that must be answered, Barr said. One of Epstein's lawyers, in a personal statement, said prosecutors, politicians, judges, and the press all seem to have a share of Mr. Epstein's blood on their hands. Attorney Mark Furnick also called for an investigation. So, guys, this news broke, right? Everybody's going crazy. People are happy, people are upset. Mixed emotions and all this. And immediately when I heard this, I thought I would be upset about something like this, because I've been saying that when they dropped that his federal court case was going to be next June, I was like, there's got to be almost no way he's surviving that long. There's no way, right? And of course, I wanted to see this asshole stay alive to get his sentence and to also give the victim some retribution. But when I found this out, I was like, he's either still alive, and if he is dead, the great thing about this is that not only is the media they're not going to be able to avoid doing the story, it's going to bring so many eyes to the story, and to people who I call normies who haven't been red pilled yet. They're going to question this. This is a humongous story. It's probably going to be the biggest story of the year so far, and I was absolutely right. There was people texting me, not just me, other friends, people everywhere, guys, saying, "What's up with this Epstein guy? Are pedophiles? Who are these elite pedophile rings?" Just people are asking questions, guys, and it's so fantastic, so fantastic. So always try to stay in the positive on this, guys. I know no one wanted him to die just yet, but we're gonna get into that a little bit later if we actually think he's dead or not. But this was the first article that dropped. And we were talking about how mad William Barr was, and this was his actual statement that was put on the Department of Justice website. Statement from Attorney William Barr on the death of Epstein. Attorney General William P. Barr issued the following statement. I was appalled to learn that Jeffrey Epstein was found dead early this morning from an apparent suicide while in federal custody. Mr. Epstein's death raises serious questions that must be answered. In addition to the FBI's investigation, I have consulted with the Inspector General, who is opening an investigation into the circumstances of Mr. Epstein's death. He was pissed, guys. He was pissed. And you could see it when this started to hit Twitter. Everybody was like, there's no way. The stories that are coming out by the mainstream media, by the way, that's why when I first heard these stories, I was trying to find other sources besides the mainstream media. But, after a few hours, it became very apparent that this was the story going forward. So we're going to look into all that. I promise you. So obviously, as the day was going on, we're getting more reports, right? If you guys are on Twitter, follow this Breaking 911. They're really good. So breaking, Jeffrey Epstein had been taken off suicide watch before he killed himself. That was the first thing. And we saw that in the New York Post article just before this. And again, guys, the memes and the GIFs that were out all day yesterday, they're still coming in today, were absolutely fantastic, especially about the Clintons. And here you go. They're everywhere. You have Hillary with that face. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm going to put a bunch of the memes that I found at the end of this video so you guys can get a good laugh too. It's all going to end on a good note, I promise. This stuff is just, stuff's deep, it's gross. Evil people here are dying, which isn't a bad thing, but we're going to put a positive spin on the end of this video. So again, we have this coming out. Jeffrey Epstein had been taken off suicide watch before he killed himself. Super sketchy. This is common sense, guys. Why the fuck would that? How would that happen, right? And then this drops. Breaking. 2 guards at the MCC, which is the correctional facility, who normally have overnight shift that watches over suicide risk inmates, were both told to leave the area 3 hours earlier for scheduled maintenance to jail cells and hallways. And then this morning, Epstein was found dead. So more of this sketchy shit coming out, right? And if you guys remember, back in July, I had, again, made a video on this. When he first was found unconscious and he had the marks around his neck, there was that ex-cop there that was jailed next to him. There was mixed reports that he shared a cell with Epstein, which I couldn't believe if that was true or not. He was some jacked Hulk-looking dude that killed, that was part of some cocaine ring, and he buried the bodies in his backyard, right out where I am in New York. He was probably lived about 20 minutes from me, actually. And this originally thought this dude attacked Epstein to try to choke him out and kill him, but it didn't work, right? So when I had seen this, I was like, is more of this going on, more of this foul play going on? And of course, 3 hours earlier than normal to do maintenance, that the next morning Epstein was found dead, right? Sounds like super sketchy. Deep state paid off somebody to do something, right? These are the stories that were coming out. So as this was happening, right, guys, Twitter was absolutely blowing up. The mainstream media was in super, super overdrive trying to contain the narrative, and it was hilarious. And all the stories that started to come out were conspiracy theorists, right, alt-right, far-right activists coming out with these stories, right? Because we're all domestic terrorists. Remember, anyone that follows Q, we're all domestic terrorists, right? We just want the fucking truth. But this is what mainstream claims that we are. So, and I was looking at the Twitter trend, and here we go. Clinton body count was the #1 trend in America with over 80,000 tweets before @Jack and Twitter changed it to Trump body count. This is called deep state damage control. And the funny thing is, guys, Trump body count doesn't even make sense. There's been never any kind of story before he was president, during presidency, that anyone that gets involved with Trump ends up dead. It just made no sense. Like, it was a complete obvious bluff by fucking Twitter. And Twitter is worse, I think, than Facebook. Just as bad as YouTube with the censoring, but I think they're the worst. And they replaced it with Trump body count, right? And as we're going through, my man Jordan Sather here, when did Twitter conveniently replace Clinton body count, which was trending this morning, with Trump body count? Their bots are working overdrive to whitewash this and maintain a narrative beneficial to the deep state, #Epstein. And when you pull this up here, that was at 9:30 this morning. And around 8:30, guys, Trump body count didn't even exist. You have Jeffrey Epstein, and then the Clintons. And of course, #1 was the Jeffrey Epstein suicide. And as the hours went by, the Clintons trending dropped off completely. And you know what remained there was the Trump body count. And guys, I found an article by True Pundit, or Gateway Pundit, that tracked this in real time. You guys got to see this. This is great. So it says, what censorship? Twitter removes #Clinton body count with 84,000 mentions from trending lists after Epstein death, replaces with Trump and bar hashtags, right? Can you guys get any more obvious now? People are waking up. They're seeing this bullshit. The 66-year-old financier was hospitalized in July after he was found unresponsive what appeared to be a possible suicide attempt. In July, Epstein was found injured in a fetal position inside his cell in New York City jail. He was reportedly put under suicide watch. On Saturday, he reportedly hanged himself. Within an hour, #Clinton body count was trending on Twitter. And you can see it here, guys. Right here where my mouse is. It's kind of clear, but it's all right. By noon, #Clinton body count hashtag had over 84,000 mentions, right? There it is. This was #3, guys. Epstein was #1. Clintons and #Clinton body count. You don't even see the Trump body count on there. It doesn't even exist, right? So, Twitter took it down. It was too damaging to the Clintons and the Democratic Party and all the liberal assholes that are out in Silicon Valley. Trump body count, that makes no sense, and it doesn't, was still up despite having less than a third number of mentions as the Clinton hashtag. Less than a third, guys, and somehow, some way, #Trump body count got all the way up on the trending list. Can you not make it any more obvious, people? This is why me, myself, so many others that I know get so angry, because do they think we're stupid? Like, this is like spitting in our faces. Do they really think we're stupid? Apparently they do. And guys, look, 10.3K tweets. 10.3. What was this at? 84.6. And you don't even see it. And look, oh look, it's starting to drop. The tweets are dropping. And somehow #Trump body count right on the top. It's fucking infuriating, guys. It's so infuriating. And several TGP readers are telling us that the Clinton hashtag was deleted from the trending list this afternoon. So Twitter just deleted it. Just completely deleted it because it doesn't fall into their narrative. Their narrative of the truth, guys. People aren't stupid. They know. They know what's going on. So just wanted to show you that. And not only that, guys, this had come up. This document leaked, and this is about a company called ShareBlue Media. ShareBlue Media, formerly known as Blue Nation Review, or ShareBlue, is an American liberal news website owned by the journalist and political activist David Brock. ShareBlue is within a consortium of political groups and Democratic strategist David Brock's network. This was taken off Wikipedia. I wanted to see who ShareBlue was because I saw this document leak, and I'm like, who is this? So just wanted to show you guys in case you didn't know. And this is the document that was leaked. This is what we're fighting, guys. This is why I always say we are in the midst of a huge information war. So let's look at this leaked email from ShareBlue. Let's look at this, guys. This is mind-blowing. So they have the two redacted, obviously, email. They don't want anyone getting that out. But this is from ShareBlue Stalwarts. Stalwarts. By now, most of you will have seen the recent news regarding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. Already, the news is being used by far-right activists to spread smears and conspiracy theories on social. Despite being both harmful and untrue, there is clearly a very concentrated effort from the right to reach the public consciousness. As you can see on your dash, the past few hours have seen a rapid swell in far-right disinformation. As such, we need as many stalwarts as we can to counteract this, promote our own messaging, and discredit the claims being made. You can find the keynotes regarding Jeffrey Epstein at this site, and navigating to appropriate conversation. As this is a breaking story, the keynotes are currently bare bones. Any stalwarts who can help in adding to them would be greatly appreciated. Because when they say stalwarts, I'm assuming that's the employees there, or maybe guys in IT or social media that, you know, they control the information flow in this company. It is and that's just a guess. I'm not sure, but that's what I think it is. It is of the utmost importance that we act fast and face these smears head on with the correct messaging. This is their view of the messaging, you guys. Look at this. Currently, that messaging is, this is a do not. Deny the possibility of foul play. Excuse Epstein of his potential crimes or doubt the validity of his guilt. Do not link to the current court documents regarding Epstein or use them in constructing your argument. Guys, watch my video from Friday. They are saying do not link to the current court documents regarding Epstein or use them in constructing your argument. You want to know why? Because it further absolves Trump being involved with any kind of girl or pedophilia. And it also throws the Clintons under the bus, Alan Dershowitz, the former New Mexico governor who I just referenced to, and a bunch of other elites and politicians. They're saying directly, do not link to the current court documents at all. So completely ignore the facts. Completely ignore the fucking truth. This is insane. This is insane. So let's call everybody a far-right conspiracy theory, and not only that, let's just ignore the truth in the court documents. And this is on their do list. Do sympathize with the potential victims of Epstein. Do remind people of the prior allegations against Trump. Don't want to forget that, people. We got to keep Trump and them linked. Remind people of Trump's prior quotes regarding Epstein and their proven interactions together. Remind people of the power that the President of the United States holds in comparison to members of the public. As always, roll con. I'm not sure what that is. Once again, we need as many stalwarts active as possible. We'll also need stalwarts helping updating the latest keynotes in regards to the developing situation. Best, AV. So guys, this is called narrative control. This is called panic. They want to ignore the facts. Do not link to the current court documents regarding Epstein. Don't reference the facts from actual court documents. Don't do that. But let's keep the narrative of Trump and Epstein alive, because that is all we want to focus on, right? Not, did he hang himself? Did he really kill himself? I'm talking in regards to Epstein. They want to just disregard all of that. Guys, I had to show you this document. This is just a one little smear of what we are dealing with as far as what we're up against. And this is exactly, these documents right here is exactly why I started this channel. Because of this bullshit right here. Independent media, guys, is all we have left. So let's keep moving on here. Okay. So after this, guys, right? So all mainstream media is in a huge, they're just going nuts, right? And we have this article, Trump retweets Epstein conspiracy theory claiming Clinton connection. So I didn't see this article first, but I did see Trump's 2 retweets of what I'm about to show you right now. Now, when Trump retweets something, it's super important, and he's drawing attention to it. And of course, it holds truth. It holds truth. I trust the man. He's doing an excellent job. And this is what he retweets, right? This was a video, and here's again Sather. Trump just retweeted this from @WTerrence. Holy moly, look at these hashtags and listen to what he said. Shit is going down. So guys, I'm going to play this video. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm about to drop it right now. Here we go.
Shaking my head. I'm not surprised. I told y'all last month this was gonna happen, but didn't nobody want to listen to me. But then guess what? Next month he dead, and you know what? all the liberals were calling me a conspiracy theorist, saying, Terrence, you coming up with crazy conspiracies and you need to be banned from Twitter. And then guess what? The man really ended up dead. And you know what? He had information on the Clintons, and the man ended up dead. Now, for some odd reason, people that have information on the Clintons end up dead. And they usually die from suicide. Come on now. Now, how do everybody die from suicide? They got information on you. Okay? You know what, to be honest with you, I don't want to know nothing about the Clintons. Don't tell me nothing. I'm not trying to end up dead. I don't even want to know if Hillary was digging in her nose. I don't want to know if Bill Clinton eat boogers. Don't tell me nothing. I don't want to end up dead. I don't want to hear it. Nope. La 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 la. La la, I can't hear you. I don't want to hear it. I'm not finna end up dead like everybody else. You know what? Now, I'm not going to say who killed that man because you know, I could end up being, but the word around the street is the Clintons did it. I don't know though. Hey. I'm just another black man on Twitter. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. I guess I don't know nothing. But so somebody tell me what's going on, because clearly, now how you end up dead and you are a high profile case in prison? Come on now. And you on suicide watch and you die of suicide in prison? Yeah, okay, somebody not doing their job, or somebody got paid not to do their job, so somebody can get knocked off so information don't come out. But I don't know nothing. I'm just another black man on Twitter.
Boom. So Trump retweeted this, right? Good stuff, right? Trump's not going to retweet and put his name attached to something if, you know, there's some purpose to it. And not only that, let's see here. Is it coming up? It's not showing up here. I can try to refresh it real quick. Let's see. If it doesn't, it's no big deal. It's a retweet of a tweet from saying how the Clintons went to Pedophile Island multiple times with certain other people. I've shown it to you guys before, but Trump retweeted that one as well. So, and of course, the news took it, you know, Trump retweets Epstein conspiracy theory claiming Clinton connection, right? Guys, they are on the fence. The Clintons are done. The deep state, you know, they've cut ties with the Clintons. They're done, in my opinion. I can't even imagine that they would even show their faces in public at this point. And if you've noticed, ever since the Epstein cases happened, and just in the last 2 days, they have been completely quiet. Hillary's been quiet on her Twitter. Bill has been quiet on her Twitter. The only last time I heard from them was when the shootings happened, and they were calling Trump a racist. The same tired fucking story we've been hearing since Trump took office. So he retweeted those. So again, this is just a huge blow to the media, and people aren't stupid, guys. They're waking up. So that's what we were starting to go to. So as the day was going on, we were seeing multiple theories, right, guys? Now, this was one that people were really throwing around. This is a picture of Epstein alive, Epstein dead. This is just a picture that was actually shifted, obviously. This picture to the right here was when he was laying on the gurney. Obviously, you can tell he's been dead for I don't know how long. I don't know much about, you know, the stages of death, how long it takes for the body to start decomposing, looking weird, but they're doing things with the nose. You can see here, they're saying, then this is just a story saying it's not him, right? These were theories throwing out there that this was a body double. And again, another comparison of Epstein alive and Epstein dead. Now, my personal opinion, guys, before we get into the other theories, I honestly don't know, because there's theories that, you know what, let me get into the other ones and I'll tell you what I think. So again, this was just another picture of Epstein with the ears and the nose comparison. And these are people claiming it's not him. He must have gotten out somehow, or someone else took him out. And yep, we got that. Let's see. Facebook was not loading as fast as I wanted to, so I just had to restart. So we were talking about theories of Epstein, if he's actually dead or not. So I just showed you guys the nose, in comparison to the face, post-death, pre-death, So this right here was interesting. This was a drop that I found on 4chan, and this was sent out before the news broke. So again, take this with a grain of salt. This could be completely made up. This was anonymous, but I'm going to read it. You guys can decide for yourselves. It reads, "Not saying anything after this. Please do not try to dox me, but last night after 04:15 count, they took him medical in a wheelchair, front cuff, but not one triage nurse says they spoke to him. Next thing we know, a trip van shows up. We do not do releases on the weekends unless a judge orders it. Next thing we know, he's put in a single-man cell and hangs himself. Here's the thing, the trip van did not sign in, and we did not record the plate number, and a guy in a green dress military outfit was in the back of the van, according to the tower guy who let him through the gate. You guys, I'm shaking right now, but I think they switched him out." So from what it sounds like, guys, it sounds like somebody that was either working there or knew somebody that was working there, and they're giving updates on Epstein himself as swapping bodies out. So that was weird. That was really weird. So that had come up again. The theories of the nose and ears was another big one. Again, further showing the theory that he was actually not died, that his body was switched out. There's a clone, something, something weird. Who knows, right? Looks like the sun just went down. Now the room's all dark again. All right, so that's that. Now, awesome story here, guys. Again, from the New York Post, who I don't use a lot of stories from, but sometimes they do get some good stories. But this offered some great insight, amazing insight from an inmate that was on the same floor, not the same time as Epstein, but he was supposedly on the 9th floor of this federal prison. And this inmate spent time on the same floor that Epstein was in. Let's look at what he has to say about the potential suicide that we're all being fed. The following account was from a former inmate of the Metropolitan Correction Center in Lower Manhattan, where Jeffrey Epstein was found unresponsive Saturday and cleared dead at a hospital. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. The ex-convict who spoke to the Post, Brad Hamilton and Bruce Golding, on the condition of the anonymity, spent several months in the 9 South Special Housing Unit for high-profile prisoners awaiting trial like Epstein. So this is the inmate's account, guys. There's no way that man could have killed himself. I've done too much time in those units. It's an impossibility. Between the floor and the ceiling, it's like an 8 or 9 feet. There's no way for you to connect to anything. You have sheets, but they're paper level. Not strong enough. He was 200 pounds. It would never happen. When you're on suicide watch, they put you in this white smock, a straitjacket. They know a person cannot be injurious to themselves. The clothing they give you is in a jump uniform. Everything is a dark brown color. Could he have done it from the bed? No, sir. There's a steel frame, but you can't move it. There's no light fixture. There's no bars. They don't give you enough in there that could successfully create an instrument of death. You want to write a letter, they give you rubber pens and maybe once a week a piece of paper. Nothing hard or made of metal. There's up to 80 people in there. They could put 2 in a cell. It's 1 or 2, but I'll never believe this guy had a cellmate. He was too blown up, and that's exactly right. The damage that unit can do to someone. It's like you're an animal and you've been brought into a kennel. A guy like Jeffrey, it's like, holy shit. I told my parents not to come there. God wasn't in that building. I've had some heavy incidents in that building. What happened is permanent. Some of the guards on a major power trip. They know guys that are suffering. They know something the rest of the world hasn't seen, that a place like this exists in this country, and they get off on it. If the guards see that the guy is breaking, they're going to help you break. But it's my firm belief that Jeffrey Epstein did not commit suicide. It just didn't happen. So, guys, you got that going on. That's a guy that was inside the actual in the same cell and the floor as Epstein. Maybe not the same cell, but he experienced and was in these rooms exactly the ones that Epstein was in, and he's saying it's impossible. And now, guys, I showed you the clip before about how the guards were taken off unit, for 3 hours for maintenance, and he died. So my whole thing on all of this, guys, is I don't really know I really just don't know. If he is dead, it's still a good thing. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to end this on a positive note as why is this is a good thing, because a lot of people were messaging me after this happened saying the victims are not going to get justice now. He has all the information. Now he's dead. He can't tell it all. But that's not true. That's not true. If he is alive, it was definitely done by the white hats. And when I say white hats, I mean the Patriots, good guys. And maybe they did fake his body, fake his death, and now he's under protective custody somewhere else and not in Manhattan to protect him from the deep state, from killing him. I'm not really sure. But guys, this guy was high profile. And already back in July, he already tried supposedly to hurt himself, right? So there's no way that they would have just let this slip again in the first place. It's just an impossibility. So somebody got paid not to do their job. Something went down. I'm not really sure. So I want you guys to drop in the comments what you think is the possibility. Do you think he's dead? Do you think the deep state got him? Do you think the Clintons got him? Really, anything nowadays wouldn't surprise me. So let's end this video on a good note. Now let's see here. Again, I always reference these same guys because they write awesome threads. My man Clandestine here. I'm going to read why this is a positive, if in fact that Epstein's dead, but that's the story that we're going with, so we're assuming he is dead at this point, but we'll have to see how the news breaks throughout the rest of the week. But let's read this, guys. I know everyone is getting super hyped about this, and that's great and all, but we already have all of that. Epstein's property has been in government possession for a while. We Anons have been telling you to read the executive orders because they lay out the plan. And here it is, guys. Background. Important note, after Epstein's death, no one else will have standing to challenge the search warrant on his house. Everything will be admissible against any other defendant without possibility of motion to suppress. So guys, now it's free range on anything Epstein owned. And it already has been, but now that he's dead, lawyers cannot intervene now. Everything will be collected. And most of it already has been. See executive order blocking the property of persons involved in serious human rights abuse or corruption. It would behoove you to read every last word, but I know many of you are lazy, so I gave you pictures, but please read, it's not long. And here he breaks it down further. For those lazy to read it, essentially it says, anyone who is involved in serious human rights abuse or current/former government officials who engage in corruption, which they all did, are now the bitch of the Secretary of State, and all your property at home and abroad is ours. That's very important, guys. It doesn't even have to remain in this country. It could be anywhere in the world. If they commit any kind of type of human rights abuse and they are a current or former government official, they are done. They are the Secretary of State's bitch. Former government officials who engage in serious human rights abuse, like in Haiti, in bribery for personal gain, extraction of personal resources, U1, that's uranium one, misappropriate state assets or led government entity to engage in any of these crimes. This executive order was written for Hillary State's department. That executive order from December 2017, coupled with the human trafficking executive order in October 2018, gave Trump the legal authority to go after Epstein as well. And remember, this is international, guys, not just at the home front. International efforts equal Epstein Island, the Vatican, Nexium, Haiti, Saudi, etc. This is crazy. This executive order references the December 2017. And here's a picture of it, guys. I won't blow it up. In summary, Trump has had control of the Clinton Foundation, the Clintons themselves, all those engaged in human trafficking, Epstein Island, and all of their properties at home and abroad. Full legal authority. And we've been in a state of national emergency since this entire time. And I did a prior video, probably about 3 weeks ago, about how Trump declared a national state of emergency for him to enact this executive order to go after all these big-time political human traffickers and the elites. So when people wonder why I'm so confident that white hats have this shit under control, it's because I did my research. Trump told everyone what he was going to do, and he did it. It was all in the EOs. The mainstream media didn't talk about them, which they didn't, so you didn't know they existed. In conclusion, we already have all of Epstein's assets, already investigated, already collected all evidence, all intel, all of it. We have it all. It's not a hyperbole. That's not just Epstein. That's everyone engaged in serious human rights abuse, and Trump owns them all. Now that you can see the magnitude of the EOs and how they eventually came to fruition down the road, go back and look at the unlawful enemy combatant / military tribunal EOs. Were those written for no reason? Think treason, it's all in the executive orders. And guys, about 3 weeks ago, remember when Barr enacted the federal capital punishment? This is what this is all about. These people aren't going to be tried in a regular court. It's going to be a military tribunal in which they can be executed immediately. Now, this is why I wasn't freaking out. I knew about the executive orders before all this started happening. And when Epstein died, for me, I'm like, okay, if he's dead, he's dead. The Patriots and Trump, they have it all already, guys. So there's no reason to freak out. These victims are going to get the justice they deserve. Just because he's dead actually could make the situation better. So just think about that. I don't know what this was. Okay. It was probably something else I wanted to show you guys, but, you know, Facebook's stupid sometimes. But what I'll end with, guys, is this from Q. I just took a screenshot here. This was back in 4/11/18. And Anon asked, "You have it all?" And what does Q say? We certainly do. So with that, guys, I want to end this video. I'm going to drop a bunch of memes, the memes that I found hilarious at the end of this video. Just a few seconds for each so you guys can get a good laugh at all this. I just wanted to put a positive spin on all this, guys, that everything is under control. Patriots are under control. And I highly, highly believe Q is going to be back this coming week. The guys are working on 8chan like crazy to get it back on the platform. They're just, you know, they're doing what they can. And once Q is back up, I can't wait to see what their first drop's going to say because it's going to be insane. So with that, guys, I just want to leave you with leave you in good spirits, positive vibes. Everything is under control. We're going to see how this plays out. I'm sure more information is going to be coming out in the next few days. This has been dominating the headlines, which it should be. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, guys, right down below. It's just a click of a button. Hit that like button as well. That gets my videos more up on the search pages. It's just a simple click. That's all I'm asking, guys. The channel's doing great. I thank you and love you all for supporting me. I absolutely love doing this. And if it's not me, guys, support any other independent media because this is all we have now. We can't trust the dinosaur. And when I mention that, it's mainstream media. They just spew lies. So until then, guys, thank you very much. I'll see you this week and stay woke.